Hey guys, Crusher045 here again. I wanted to make this video sooner. I was actually hoping to get it out on Inauguration Day because of the relevance, but this game still holds a lot of relevance and I wanted to introduce everyone to it because I feel it's really important. This is the political process, which is, in my opinion, by far the best political simulator out there today. And what's really miraculous about this game, in my opinion, is that it's only $15 on Steam. If you're interested in purchasing this game after watching this video, just head over to Steam, type in the political process, as you can see right here, and I would purchase it while you can, because very, very soon updates are going to come out, which are going to potentially raise the price. There's no telling if that's the case or not, but there's one person that's developing this game, and they've basically said that it's possible the price will go up with coming expansions and things of that sort. Right now, this game offers so much, but there's more coming. And so I wanted to give you a glimpse today of what this offers and why I think it's the best. But in another video, I'll probably do a playthrough of all the features and actually show you what a typical playthrough from one politician's life essentially could be. And we'll start as someone maybe, I don't know, age 18, and then we'll go through different offices and I'll show you each level of politics through that. But for this particular video, I just want to show you the very basics of what this game has to offer so you can get an idea for yourself if this is something that you're interested in. The first thing to look at here, obviously, is that it's very simplistic. There's a lot of reading in this game compared to other political simulators out there. The Political Machine 2020 that a lot of people have played and it's become very popular is a lot more cartoonish and offers a lot more visual aspects. This game offers a lot more information and it's a much deeper simulation if you're interested in simulation. And I'll show you really fast. The election simulator is the newest tool, but for this video it's actually the best because it'll show you essentially what this game offers. So we'll click it and we'll load a new election. These are the 9 different offices that you can hold in this game at the moment. The position of Vice President, the position of Supreme Court Justice, the position of, I think there's others as well. I can't think of them at the moment, like Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, things like that are all going to come very, very soon. But for the moment, just keep in mind, this is what you can run for. And also notice that you can run for each of these in each different state. So what we're going to do is, for the purpose of this video, I'll show you a very basic mock election. We'll do a mock presidential election, in fact, general election. And we'll go to candidates. We'll create 2 candidates. And what we'll do here is we'll make one of them a Republican. We'll go to policy positions. Just so you can kind of see the options here, just looking at it. I'm sorry for going so fast through this. I want to go more in depth when we actually play it. But if we go to general, these are the basics: the age of the candidate, their descent, their name, what political party they are a part of, and then their appearance options. I mean, there are a ton of different ways you can go with these. One thing that people notice about this game immediately is that some of the characters look a little funny. Personally, I find it kind of charming. It's not overly realistic to the point that computers can't handle it. This game is really basic that any computer can run this, which I think is fantastic about that, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at policy positions. There are more policy positions coming in the future to make candidates stand out even more. But at the moment, you have things like, do you support raising minimum wage? Do you believe government does more good or harm? Universal basic income, tax rates. It's very extensive. You can be as simplistic or as complex as you want. For this particular video with this election, we're going to make this candidate a moderate Republican, so to speak. So we'll make them a moderate in both social and economic policy. History is a very fun way to mess around with a character's backstory. You can be as blatantly straightforward as you want or as broad as you want. So let's say I want this candidate to, I don't know, have been a former lawyer. What I can always do is go into the history title here and say he was an attorney from, I don't know, 1978 to 2011. Okay, hold on. There we go. It will add that. And so when you see this character in game, if you were playing a normal game, you could look at their history and see, oh, they were an attorney from these years to these years. If we also want to go into their traits, are fun. They don't really do anything at the moment, but they are very interesting because when you look at NPC players and the way they act, this is probably what is going to determine what they'll say and what they'll do more than anything as their traits. Advanced are very fun. Name recognition is how many people know the person. Political points are essentially your indicator of how well known they are politically, what kind of accomplishments they've had politically. The more they have, the better. Approval ratings are extremely important. Obviously, he's a Republican. We'll give him a 70% approval rating with Republicans, 60 with independents, and about 60 with Democrats. We'll give him some good voter enthusiasm, very similar to his approval rating. And he's from Arkansas. That doesn't matter to me. All that's fine. We'll continue. She's going to be very similar. We're going to go to policy. We'll set policy positions. We'll make her a very liberal candidate. We will go into the advanced options here. Make sure she has proper approval ratings and things with each party. Good voter enthusiasm with each party. She's from New York. That's fine. And what we're going to do now is look at vote factors. So these are all things you, when you play a normal game, would not necessarily look at this unless you went into advanced options in order to edit these things. Now, why would you want to edit these things? Well, perhaps you feel that they don't reflect real life, or you want to make them reflect something that you've come up with. So what you can actually do here is adjust things. So you can see that 84% of Democrats support universal health care. And whether a candidate holds that position or not has about a weight of 40 on the total, whether they consider that candidate good or not, and that's 2% of their total score with Democrats. With Republicans, the weight is the same, but only 33% support it, which means that if you support it, Republicans aren't going to like you as much, but 59% of independents do. The way that he's designed independents, or I should say the person that's making this game, I said he, whatever. They took the average support from both sides and came up with an average number between the two. So you can see that 20% of Republicans support single-payer healthcare, 54% of Democrats support it, and that averages out to about 37% of independents that like it. And that's how independents work. Ancestry has weight as well. If someone is obviously African or Hispanic, they're going to have more weight with voters than someone who is perhaps European or Native American. Traits also have an impact on how much people like or dislike different candidates. People like candidates with good traits. They dislike candidates with bad traits. Endorsements also have weight. If a candidate is endorsed by, say, the labor union, Republicans aren't going to like them, but Democrats will. And then, obviously, voter enthusiasm is just how much people like the candidate, their approval rating, etc. And if you look at districts, total demographics, this is what they're currently set at. You can edit these however you like. This is turnout ratings, which obviously turnout was a huge factor in the last election, and it always is. You can edit these things in-game. I find them to be very, very fun. There's so many options you can go into, but for this video, we're not going to mess with any of them. We're just going to leave things as is. This is, of course, total government approval rating, which party held the presidency, how many years the party has held the presidency, is the president running for re-election, etc., etc. And then what we can do here is go here. We can predict the election, which will give us a rundown of what states should vote like. So Alabama and Alaska should be Republican states. California should be Democratic because there's a safe margin of victory there. But we're going to hit calculate results. What it will do is give us a electoral winner, which it appears to be our Republican candidate here. And we're going to scroll down and see exactly why that is. This is the electoral map that was generated. And what you can do is click on any state you want and see what the results were. So let's see if there's any bizarre results. Oh yeah, Virginia is a really bizarre one here, and so is Minnesota. Virginia went to him by roughly 0.6%. And that was because more Democrats from the state voted for him than Republicans did, and independents didn't have as much weight. It was a very, very close race overall, you can see. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's cool about this, is you can see every result as in-depth or as not in-depth as you want. If we go to the state like Minnesota, very, very similar results, but you can see that it was because independents kind of split evenly. More Democrats voted for him than Republicans voted for her, and that's what made the difference. And all of these things, you can see here which states exactly each candidate won and how that pans out. If you'd like, you can pause the video and read the results. This is just a very basic election. I think that this should give you a good sense of what this game's about for the presidential race. I'll go back really fast. These are the 9 offices you can hold. Each one works slightly differently, as you would expect. And you can set which district you're in, which state you want to be from. So we'll do U.S. Senate, and then it'll ask which state. We'll say it's a presidential year. We could pick a state. So if we want to simulate a, Senate race in the state of, Montana, we can. And we just go to 2 candidates here really fast. We'll make him a Republican. It doesn't really matter. Results, calculate results. And here's the Senate results. The Republican ends up winning by roughly 4%, I think. It's like 4.1% or 4.2%, my bad. And these are the counties that voted their way. It's very simplistic at the moment. The next update is going to be election night, which will actually cover these election results in a lot more detail on election night. But I'm hoping you see what this mode offers. This is just the election simulator. In-game, there's actually more to do. You have rally options. You can endorse, different things. This is just my synopsis. If you're interested in politics at any length, even if you like it but you're not, and you don't know anything about it, or you don't think you know anything about it, I highly, highly recommend, and I cannot recommend it more, to get this game. It will teach you about politics. You'll learn more than you ever thought you would want to know about politics. And beyond that, it gives you the chance to actually live out a political life. Like I said before, the next video will actually be me playing as a candidate, and we'll run for different offices and try to go through an entire political life, where the very last office we'll hold as president, and then we'll retire and see where things go from there. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about this game, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer them. If you decide to get this game, also make sure that you go to the Steam discussion page for this game, because the developer is constantly on there answering people's questions. If you have suggestions for what you want the game to do in the future, you can ask your suggestion. I just recommend reading through others first to make sure your suggestion hasn't been brought up before. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and yeah, thank you for watching and tuning into this. And please check out the political process. It's a very, very cool game in development, and I think you'll like it.